What you doing, Mrs. Williams?
Packing up the last of these goodie bags.
Goodie bags?
Yeah.
For what?
For Hike and Heal Sequoia this weekend.
All right.
Yeah. So we've got, shout out to Sawyer getting it hooked up. So we got the insect repellent. It's been pretty mild here, so I think this is more for comfort than out of necessity.
That's usually because we're in bed before the bugs come out.
Oh, that's fair.
Duly noted.
Duly noted. I'm going to lather up. Stay Put sunscreen, which is going to be great news for the folks this weekend because we're doing a meadow restoration. Permethrin, so you can treat your clothes, less ticks and bugs, and you can put it on your gear. And we've got some glow-in-the-dark water bottles, honoring that beautiful night sky here in Sequoia National Park, and stickers and a journal. Yay!
All right.
So yeah, big shout out to Sequoia Parks Conservancy for the opportunity to do these programs together, and to Sawyer for making our goodie bags so dope.
All right, let's have a good retreat, yeah?
Let's do it.
Boom.
Yay. Give me a reminder, who's heard of limiting beliefs and/or invasive thoughts? Limiting beliefs are exactly what they sound like. They're beliefs that limit you from reaching your full potential. Invasive thoughts are exactly what they sound like. They are thoughts that interrupt a healthy, beautiful flow of normal brain activity that they might be mean, they might be outrageous, but they just come and they intrude, and they're invasive, much like the species of grass that we'll be removing from the meadow. There's a really great book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And in this book, Gay describes what he calls the upper limit problem. Have you ever had like the best day? Like you went on a vacation, like maybe you just got home from vacation, or you just got promoted, or you had a really nice time with your friends, or you went on an epic date, or you just got all good news all day. You got the best parking spot, like whatever your best day is, insert that there. And then you get home and you pick a fight with somebody. The visual that I love for this is like, we have this thermostat for joy that we allow ourselves. And when we have the best day, we run up against that top end and we're like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not used to this much joy. I better bring it back down by fighting with someone. Because at the root of it, there's some belief that we picked up somewhere along the way that we're not allowed to experience as much joy as we just experienced.
Michelle, what's shaking?
What's up?
We're back again, Round Meadow.
Yeah, here we are, Round Meadow, Giant Forest.
What are we doing?
Yeah, so we're here with the volunteer group today, hiking my feelings, working on the Round Meadow restoration project. So we have to remove an invasive grass called orchard grass from this meadow. It's in sections found all over here, but luckily it's the only meadow in the Giant Forest that has this grass. And so what we remove here hopefully helps stop the spread into other meadows as well.
So how did it get here?
Cattle grazing some point in park history, or maybe even before it was a park.
Okay. And they think maybe it could have been a bale of hay or something, like brought in to feed cattle?
Yes.
And that's how it got here?
Yes.
And why do we want to remove it?
Yeah, so Sierra meadows are known for their biodiversity. So the diversity that we find here is essential to the health of the park as a whole. It provides habitat for insects, for wildlife like bears. So if there's one kind of grass in this meadow, essentially that would have huge effects on insect diversity, and then that would have cascading effects on the food chain as a whole.
And this stuff just hogs up all the resources, because how you've taught us, you've done a great job of telling us how to identify this stuff and how to uproot it and all that stuff. But I'll tell you, I know I got the right stuff when it's hard to get out.
Yeah.
Because you really got to get in there and pull this stuff out. So, and how long has this been going on?
It's been an ongoing project, maybe for about 6-7 years, since 2016, I believe it got started. So every year, every summer, we come out with different volunteer groups, almost every weekend, and we come and help basically restore this meadow by removing this invasive grass. So it's an ongoing project, and it will continue for probably the next 7 to 10 years.
Well, that was my next question, is how long does Hiking My Feelings need to come out here with and hack these things up? So maybe 7 to 10 years, huh?
Yeah, so the park does not like leaving unfinished business, right? Unfinished projects. So we do have an end goal in mind. So it is manual labor. It will take several years to complete, but after about 7 to 10 years left of this project, we're going to come back and hopefully restore this area with even more native plants.
Fantastic. All right, well, I guess we should stop talking about this and do more pulling up.
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, actually, one more thing that I thought was fascinating. You said every year it's about 50% decrease, which that makes me feel pretty good. And it's nice to come back here year after year and see the meadow get better and better.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, enough of this. I'll get back to work.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And at the root of that is usually some kind of belief that sucks, that we need to get rid of. There's a lot of different ways that we can acquire limiting beliefs, but I believe they come down to like 2 categories. One, it comes from somebody from a position of authority. So like we were talking about earlier, it's your parents when you're growing up, or whoever's taking care of you, extended family. And like limiting beliefs, they're not necessarily things like that are awful and mean. Like a limiting belief could be anything that prevents you from taking action on something. It could be something that limits you from believing that you're worthy of all the joy that is available to you. It doesn't necessarily have to be all the negative, icky stuff like that the bullies say to us, though that is some of it. From religious leaders, from doctors, from dance teachers, cheerleading coaches, sports people, whatever. People in positions of authority that are telling you, reflecting the world that how they perceive the world to be. They're reflecting it back to you and telling you how you should try to fit into it. And then there's the whole other slew that is largely subconscious that we don't even really recognize, and that's just through repeated exposure. Every single day, when we're scrolling through social media, when we're driving down the highway, when we're listening to the radio or podcasts or TV, like it's not even anything again, it doesn't have to be outrightly negative or something egregious. It could just be something that you hear somewhere and it like resonates and it sticks with you. Or you've heard it enough times that you're like, if somebody's gonna say this much, then it must be true. Now, before we continue, I have 3 questions. Am I willing to have more joy in my life? Just as like a blanket question. Are we all willing to have more joy? Are you willing to have all parts of your life go better than they are now? Are you willing for everything to go right all the damn time in every way, shape, and form? But if we don't acknowledge it and if we don't say it, then we can't see it. So we have to acknowledge that because you can't see what you aren't looking for. And you can't look for things that you aren't aware of. And you can't be aware of things that you don't know, have knowledge of, or believe in, or have seen modeled. So if you've never seen joy in all areas modeled, that's some like hippy-dippy stuff. And will that last all the time, forever and ever, amen? No, look at the world we live in. Hello. The world is burning down We're more divided than ever, yet more connected than we've ever been through technology, but we're more separate from the earth from which we came and each other than we've ever been historically. So like, can that happen? Maybe not, because we can't control everything outside of us, but we can control what we can control. And in that case, we always have a choice. Now, the foundation from which we are born on which to make said choices, radically different. The choices I make in my life are going to be very different from the choices y'all make. I don't have kids. I live in a forest. My choices are very different. And at the end of the day, no matter what has happened or how we got through it, we've all had a worse day, and we're all here to talk about it. And again, my worst day of my life is very different from the worst days of your life, and they're not a competition. We are all so much more alike than we are different. And we have to consider who's telling us that we're different and who benefits from us believing that. The thing about this is, and the thing about this weekend is, some of this stuff might be new to you, but it's not new at all. We're just learning how to remember how to be good, awesome humans.
We've officially reached the drunken toddler phase of the hike. We're getting towards Silliman Pass. It's cold, it's wet, it's foggy, we can't see anything. Getting up at 10 grand, so getting a little hypoxic, which is always fun.